Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Epic LAN CSGO stream. It is me, Sneaky, again, joined by the wonderful Icon, now fashion icon. Look at this man in his impeccable dress attire. But we are going to be delivering a very exciting grand final matchup here to you today. Well, underway, it's going to be EMP's Kids versus Blackhand. After Blackhand forced their way through that lower bracket run, as EMP's Kids, I'd say they're a surprise team to make it through the upper bracket, but again, they have a star-studded roster in terms of the UK scene. So honestly, it's great that we get to see arguably the two favourites coming up against each other in this grand final.
Yes, absolutely. A redemption arc required here for Blackhand. Of course, we've already seen a best of three between these two teams. EMP's Kids were able to take that in a 2-0 fashion, and a dominant one at that. They have been performing incredibly well with the star-studded lineup that you've already alluded to. Of course, you've got previous LAN winner Crifes, the victor of EPIC36 here. Of course, he was with a different roster with Dusty Coolbet.
R.I.P. Dusty.
But R.I.P. Dusty. They were a brief stint in the UK scene, but they hung around for a little period of time. Then, of course, we've Cypher from ITB, an incredibly well-known name in the UK Counter-Strike scene, and very recently just won at I-Series as well. So recent victories for two of the players on the EMP's Kids side. Over on the Blackhand side, I think the talking point here for them is that they've made a recent roster change with Timo coming into this squad. Reese has gone out, and since then, they seem a little bit inconsistent. We haven't seen this level that they were hoping to bring with that roster change yet.
I mean, you could see that they were really struggling yesterday to close things out against Temperate, who I would argue are a much less put-together team than this EMP's Kids lineup. But one person I do want to highlight, though, is Jouster on that CT side. He has been a fantastic site anchor, often doing the job on his own. He is constantly picking up those multi-frags, and if he's able to deliver on the same level today as he did yesterday and the day before, then we should be in for a treat, especially when it comes down to those solo site plays. But obviously on the EMP's Kids side, there's a lot of players to highlight. Jack B as well. He's another name that's popped up a couple of times this LAN as a very prominent figure for the EMP's Kids lineup. He's been bringing the pain, he's been dealing some serious damage, and as a combination with Cypher, the man with a lot of experience, and Christ as well, a familiar face in international Counter-Strike, I guess you could say. Or,
I suppose so.
Well, they had him for a LAN, then they dropped him. They needed their UK way into the scene, and then went their separate ways. But yeah, EMP's Kids, they've got sort of three highlighted players, and then Moshi and Joshua, they're not bad players either.
Not at all.
They've had their great moments this tournament, and well, we've had a couple of hiccups on this lineup for Blackhand, and I think we were talking about Dexter earlier. He needs to adapt more to the current situation, especially on that AWP.
Yeah, so first map for us is going to be Vertigo, and that's the game that we watched yesterday Blackhand play on. They had a really back and forth game. They started off on the back foot. Here you can see the vetoes on your screen. So Vertigo, the pick of Blackhand, considering that the fact that they had a very poor start against Temperate on the map yesterday, going down I think 5-0, 6-0 in the early stages of that first half. So hopefully they've gone back to the drawing board, they've reassessed the situation, and yes, Dexter, a player that we've highlighted, the main AWP of the Blackhand side, and on the CT side on Vertigo yesterday, he was far too static. He was playing pretty much the same position every single round without fail, and I think we actually saw him have more influence over the outcome of a round with a rifle in that match.
2 kills on that same bomb site, and because he had the rifle, he was playing more fluid, which allowed him to get those frags. Unless he's going to be going for that aggressive play towards top ramp, then we have to see him move away from that short side position, because as much as it is beneficial to hold it for a decent time, a decent number of rounds, having that as your only position on the CT side, it just needs to be moving around more. But someone again I want to highlight is Fraser, the man who actually swung that game in their favour.
Yes.
The incredible Deagle 3K, which I'm sure is floating around by now, just absolutely sealed the deal for Blackhand. It crushed the economy of the opposition, of Temperate, and yeah, with that they were able to spiral things back into their control. It got very damn close, but they took their own map pick, I believe it was, 16-14. And it is their map pick again today. Big thing for them, hold on in those post plants. The post plants were ruining them on that T side, and I think it was 7 diffusers from Temperate. 7 bomb diffusals after not often tough-fought post plants, often they would just run them over. Like a couple of flashes, a couple of nades, they would get an early HE frag, they'd push in and just demolish the post planters in all their positions.
They forced up continuously, round after round after round, and although they had some successful site hits, they burned through their utility in the process, and it meant that when it came to a retake situation, the side of Temperate had everything that they needed and more. It was very difficult for Blackhand, even if they had played those rounds perfectly from a mechanical standpoint, to even fight around that utility. They had smokes and flashes coming in their direction. The HEs were doing a lot of damage as well. Temperate did a really good job. You have to credit them on their retake situations, but also it did come down to Blackhand not conceding to that eco earlier on in that first half.
But the one thing I do have to compliment Blackhand on there is the fact that they were able to consistently get those bomb plants, and with that, when they crushed the EMPS Kids economy at that 7-1 scoreline to the CT side, so EMPS Kids, I meant Temperate, you know what I mean, they crushed for Temperate economy, they were able to start steamrolling, and they did bring things back to a fairly competitive half. I think the 9-6 scoreline was the final scoreline going into the half switch, which from a 7-1 deficit is a very impressive comeback, but they can't afford to let things spiral out of control in such a manner this time. As long as they can hold on to a couple of those early rounds, a couple of those consistent post-plant situations, then we will be in much better stead, and I will have a lot more confidence in them. But just looking at the rest of the veto, we've not seen too much of Dust 2 personally this event, and I'm not sure what to expect from Blackhand, but I know that EMPS Kids, especially Cypher, is it's going to be a decent map for them. It's a map they've played decent amount of times on the side of Into the Breach, and the rest of these players, I know that they're relatively confident on the map too. There's a reason they've picked into it, and with Overpass as the decider, that's going to be a very exciting map should we need to see it. But okay, let's talk about predictions quickly. What do you think is going to come down today in the server?
I'm going to say this is a 2-1.
Okay.
I'm going to say this is a 2-1 to EMPS Kids, and I'll tell you why. Blackhand are a capable team on Vertigo. They are also a roster that has practiced together for a few weeks. They have some protocols in place, some strategy behind their movement, whereas over on the EMPS Kids side, Vertigo is one of those maps, similarly to Nuke, in fact, where if you don't have a lot of preparation coming into it, it can be very difficult for you to work out how a team plays. There is obviously no lack of skill over on the EMPS Kids side, but I really think the strategy is the difference maker when it comes to a map like Vertigo. Going to Dust 2, EMPS Kids were dominant on that map yesterday. I casted Dust 2 Temperate versus EMPS Kids with Grimmy Ranar, and they absolutely stomped. Crifes and Cypher were going insane. Jack B on the AWP had so much impact, and honestly, it was a complete shutout. I think it was a 16-7 victory in the end. Dominant over Temperate. Going into Overpass, ooh, it's an interesting map. I love Overpass.
Well, okay, so I also love Overpass. As I said, it's my favourite map, and Cypher is definitely going to have fond memories of Overpass. Shout out again to when they beat Skade 16-14, beating their 30 win streak, including against Vitality. Wow. After I held a funeral for them. Again, it's a sad moment for me, but a very happy one for UKCS and Ryan as well. Retro, not you, don't worry. He put them in his predictions to beat Skade, and he was the only one to do so, and I've still not heard the end of it.
What a genius he is, eh?
Genius. Definitely intentional, definitely intentional. But what else is intentional is the start of this game, and with Blackhand starting on that T side, EMPS Kids are looking to get an advantage early doors. They will creep 3 players towards middle, and we should be having an early 3v3 gunfight. It's Zulu to take first contact, and it's Zulu to catch the first frag of the game. Yosha will fall, and immediately the man advantage gain. Jack B, oh my goodness, gets swung on by Zulu. Moshi only good for the single trade, but Fraser, we know him to be a good pistolier, catches another one straight on back, and it's already the 4v2 for Blackhand.
Yeah, great entries there in middle from Zulu. They've got themselves an incredible situation, 4 versus 2. The remaining CT split on separate bomb sites. For Blackhand to convert this round, all they need to do is group and commit to their trading. No need to waste time and be scared of your opponents in this situation. Of course, you have the upper hand completely, so it's just about making sure that you commit to whatever decision that you end up making. And here comes the utility. The split in towards the A bomb site by the look of it. The smoke in towards window, the Molotov, and Timo shuts the door on Crifes, the only man who could cover that cross. The A bomb site completely open for grabs. And Cypher, well, on the wrong bomb site. He's got his work cut out for him here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a kit, but the Julies have been picked up now by Fraser, and you can't lose a post plant if you don't really have one in the first place. So good stuff for Blackhand there. And an exciting opening pistol for them. They do slow things down a little bit to regain themselves the middle part of the round.
Yeah.
But as you said, they firm their commitment. That's exactly what they needed to do. They keep good spacing. And with that, we will be going to a very quick pause. But yeah, solid round. They get the bomb plant, that means they can buy up into the rifles here, and this should be a relatively simple second round conversion, but I say relatively simple because it will be upgraded pistols and 2 MP9s on this EMP side, and well, we know what those upgraded pistols can do, and we know what those SMGs can do when they're in the right hands.
I tell you what, Cypher is an absolute deagle god. We have seen him open up rounds with that hand cannon in tow, and I never underestimate him now whenever I see that gun come out. So the MP9s of Moshi and Jack B, two players who instinctively like to play with some aggressive force, like to get in your face, so the perfect players to pick those one up. And Joshua and Crifes as well, no lack of mechanical ability between these two players. So definitely a competitive round here in round number 2. Without a doubt, Blackhand have the advantage from the get-go, but let's see if they can get the opening pick, which is so important on a round like this.
Yeah, Jack B playing a boosted off angle though. Might be good to catch one of these rifle players by surprise, especially if they try pick this despite having the utility. Jack B good for one, but Jouster there to trade. Timo spots Cypher toward the top of a ramp, will chuck a nade to follow through, forcing the man away and giving them a bit more space to play with as Jouster drops a Molotov towards middle and now has full control and upgrades to that dropped AK. That's 3 AKs still in play now for Blackhand, up against 3 pistols for EMP. The MP9 on Moshi needs to go big here. Farm some cash for them in the meantime as well. If you've gone for the force, you may as well make best use of it as Cypher now peeks in towards short, but Blackhand continue to go with a slow pace.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on the radar here. Off the back of the sound cues being made by Blackhand, the entire EMP side have left that B bomb site. They're already here to compete for this take onto A.
Oh no.
Moshi and Joshua with kills. Cypher decks Joust there as well. And Dexter, with a rifle in hand, is thrust on into a 1 versus 3. Cypher's managed to recover an AK, and he takes Dexter's head clean off. That's what we're talking about, Sneaky. The Deagles, the one-shot potential, and they ripped the heads of Blackhand clean off. That 1-0, well, what we expected perhaps as a 2-0 start has now fallen by the wayside, and we're all tied up after 2 rounds of play. Blackhand forced their way back into this one.
I do love me a Battle of the Four Spies to start off a game. It seems to be a reoccurring trend between me and you, Icon.
Yeah.
And, well, as the pistols come out to try and avenge the rifles that were lost, I don't have much confidence. EMP's kids, oh, they just bully them in that round. They let the clock tick down to about 40 seconds. That's not the end of the world, but executing behind a smoke that was already disadvantageous for them, it was just mistake after mistake from the rifle players, and now the pistols make them 2 as they jump straight into the open arms of Crifes, Jack B, and oh, it's crumbling in front of our very eyes. But Fraser, he does claw things back into a potentially winnable situation, but Jack B ensures that is not the case. Grabs a deagle for good measure, and that's 2-1 for EMP's kids, as Blackhand will be taking an eco here. Very solid start for the CTs after losing the pistol, and that's going to be a tough one for Blackhand to recover, especially after we saw them struggling on that T side yesterday. Yeah,
absolutely. At the bare minimum, though, they did get 3 kills. They forced rebuys on Crifes, Moshi, and Cypher, so they've got low cash. If they were to go down again, then it would put the economy in a little bit of a sticky situation. Just the Glocks in this one, though. We don't expect any heroics this time around. Joust there good for 1 kill onto Crifes. In fact, that may be significant later on, as he's a player who did have to rebuy. But EMP's kids, they have it under control, no problem whatsoever.
Eco-frags!
Yeah, they mop it all up. They farm those HLTV stats that all these players so dearly want.
Oh, yes.
It's like sweet nectar, those HLTV stats. But here we go. We get into a full gun round for both sides here. Jack B with the AWP in tow, and he narrowly misses the head of the player holding from Generator. A nice aggressive opening attempt from him, though, and that really makes a change to what we saw from Dexter comparatively on yesterday's game on Vertigo CT side.
Yeah, again, fluidity with the AWP is definitely the new meta, and Christ, okay, doesn't matter about the meta, we'll find the entry onto Fraser, one of the players we highlighted previously, but Jouster does catch one back in return. Joshua with the spam through the smoke, not going to catch anyone just yet, but instead it's Timo to find one, and Cypher to trade. A constant game of trading here all across the map until Cypher doubles up, and that will now be a two-man advantage for the side of EMP's kids. Jouster left to do it all. He's got the bomb in tow, but will he realise there's a player behind white box? I don't think he does, but swings into it regardless. Great frag to find, and Moshi will fall. This is an open bomb site, an open plant opportunity. And as much as that flashbang has minimal effect, Jouster, he's not going to stick the plant. That's a huge mistake from him. Absolutely unnecessary to get off the bomb there, but at least the CTs do not know his position now. For all they know, he could have gone back down the stairs. And oh, it's all up to timings here. Jouster is spotted, can't even find the first. And Cypher with a 3K shuts things down. And because he doesn't plant the bomb, Blackhound's economy, it's not strong enough to go for a full buy.
Wow, that flash scared him off. He thought perhaps there'd be a CT peeking off the back of that flashbang, but it was all just a bit of a distraction so that they could get themselves into a safe position for their retake attempt. No retake even required as the bomb never gets planted, and as a result Blackhand don't have the money to fully invest into this round. Once again they're on the low investment. Cypher with a quick double kill on the ramp hold, and Joshua's here to help out. We've got two more players, well in fact only the one now in Joshua's. Jouster puts a second kill on the board, but Joshua cuts down Zulu, keeps the round in control of the EMP's kids for the time being. Jouster literally alive by the skin of his teeth as that nade lands at his feet, but they're still getting frags here. Jouster with his third of the round now. He's still alive. He's still got a potential to isolate a fight, but that 5 HP comes into play. Joshua shuts it down, and EMP's kid with a 5-1 start. They're in a great position here on Blackhand's map pick.
There's solid economic damage there from the pistols, but again, Cypher is just farming towards the bottom of lower ramp. And yeah, that's something else we didn't really see from Blackhand. They were very passive in their A-hole. They, again, they would have Dexter sit behind a smoke. They would have one player maybe towards sandbags, but they didn't take that space. They didn't take the fight to the T side, which they are now playing on. And, yep, as you can see, it's coming back to bite them. They don't expect this playstyle, and Dexter already down to 37, looking like a rough round from the opener. You said that you think Blackhand was going to be able to take this map pick. Yeah. I mean, has the way they're playing this T-side swayed your opinion at all, or is it still too early to really say?
I still have faith, because where they were most dominant in the game yesterday was on that CT side. They had a very similar start to the game yesterday as we have right in front of us at the moment.
True,
so
7-1.
Momentum could swing, but Cypher goes swinging out this time round, and Dexter loses his head as the round kicks off. A minute on the clock already. Moshi's got lots of control over towards this B side of the map, and a two-man setup as well. This positioning right now is too good from EMP's kids. I'm going to go ahead and say that they have a massive advantage in this situation, especially now with Jack B taking down a big hitter in Jouster. Timo's made a step as well over towards B, and honestly, EMP's kids are all over this one right now.
Yeah, are we going to have another MMS moment towards B stairs? There was a CT hiding by the sandbags, but I don't think we'll be netted that opportunity. And Zulu, well, he seizes the opportunity to take some space towards the site, but it's Fraser to find the opening. Oh no, that's a team kill! A team kill from Joshua means Blackhand have every advantage here. Bomb has gone down. Cypher will drop a Molotov, and Fraser catches Moshi. It's down to the 1v2 with a flashbang. It's fantastic, fully blinded, as Zulu will capitalise, and that's a second on the board to Blackhand against all odds. Oh my goodness, it just spirals out of control in a matter of seconds.
2 versus 5, Sneaky. A 2 versus 5 situation. Fraser given the gift of God as the players line up. A team kill comes out for the EMP's kids.
So unfortunate.
He kills the player on the flank, and Zulu's done wonders with that flashbang. An incredible round to win. They find themselves in a great position, but they immediately lose Timo at the start of this one. Some more woes for them as they are against a bit of a forced investment here. Of course, Jack B on the AWP, you can't underestimate his impact. Dexter still with one in hand, so hopefully we'll be able to see some impact from him as he's going to hopefully attempt to trade this one. All the T's headed up towards this B stairs side of the map, and Moshi on a close angle takes down the first man, immediately traded. Jack's rotation is here in time. The utility's not going to lock him out. No flash for Jack's angle either. Zulu hits the ground, but Dexter to trade as Jack's peak is a little bit too over-aggressive, perhaps.
I was going to say, I'm looking forward to some nice AWP duels, and Dexter delivers in droves. He finds a double kill, but Joshua on the MP9 will outrange the AWP, leaving just Jouster in the 1v2. He knows exactly where both of these players are, or at least he thinks so. In fact, I think they might be grouping up in middle for the retake. I say retake, the bomb hadn't actually gone down yet, but it does now as Jouster's left with just 21 health. And I think he's read into this quite nicely.
CTs have played this well, though. Regrouping from the player in Joshua, who was behind. He rotated the whole way through and played with his teammate, but Crifes just rips the head of Jouster off. No problem whatsoever. And EMP's kids, after losing what really should have been a round that went their way 100%, they bounce right back. The mentality has not been lost for them, and they're still in a great position here so far.
Yeah, I mean... Christ as well, delivering with a great pre-fire on that deagle. I don't think he actually made noise when he dropped off for the boost.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it was a silent drop, but he gets pre-fired anyway, an immediate one-tap. And EMP's kids, they recover what could have been a little bit of a slippery situation. But with Jouster on low HP, regardless, it's not going to be the end of the world. But Cypher, he's bringing the world crashing down to Blackhand. The 5 less bullets in the A1S does come back to bite him, but thankfully his teammates are there. They clean up nicely. They secure their economy and secure the round. 7-2 now for EMP's kids as Blackhand, they are being bodied back and forth. With the exception of that round they slipped in with the guns, I mean, yeah, they've looked pretty miserable in competition here. 5-round deficit. And, yeah, EMP's kids, they're flying through. I said they were great as individual players. They've got the more experienced players, I would argue, on their lineup. But Blackhand, as that set roster, we do need to see more from them.
Yep, absolutely. The pause now being called by the in-game leader of the Blackhand side, and they want to reassess the situation that they find themselves in because this one is starting to get away from them a little bit at this point. We saw them go down in a similar fashion in the game on Vertigo yesterday. However, it was around this stage in the half that they began to bounce back, show a little bit of flair, and I believe that they ended that half with at least 6 rounds on the board. So hopefully that they can manage to put up 6 once again. Jack B, though, he's got something to say about that as he cuts down 2. The fast B attempt is gone by the wayside. Missing his opportunity, but it's okay. Moshi's there to mop things up. Joshua chimes in as well. And a clean hold. 5 alive. No problem for the EMP's kids whatsoever. Blackhand, now is the time to wake up. Dexter on the AWP once again, and we need to see some openers from Dexter. I feel like he really doesn't play aggressive enough in the early stages of the round sometimes.
I get that he doesn't want to play too aggressive in the early doors. It is a playstyle choice. I mean, you see James, he's not exactly an entry player. And he still has a lot of impact for his side, but Jack B even more so as he entries on his AWP, getting very aggressive into what's middle. Fraser just doesn't expect this off angle. And Jack B, well, he's still here waiting for more, but that's a great trade from Dexter. Through the wall at that, but Jack B, he's back for another. It's a battle of the AWPs right here. Will we be able to see a standoff between the two of them again? The previous fight that they had towards B stairs was a little bit of a frantic moment. It wasn't really a proper duel. I want to see these two AWPs battle it out in a long-range fight.
It's a real contrast between the playstyle of these two AWPers, though, isn't
Absolutely.
there? Jack B is that hyper-aggressive man, never afraid to take an engagement, even if his team's evened in odds. He's always able to find the gaps. Joshua is going to cut down Zulu on this attempt towards the A ramp, and a 2 versus 4 situation, make that 1 versus 4 for Dexter, as he's able to get the immediate trade onto Crifes. He knows there's another man edging towards this A side of the map, and Jack B's holding the line with the AWP right now. The smoke to block him off, but with the player already far forward on the gap side, I think he's just going to push on ahead through it, take the risk. The setup is already played out for the EMP's kids to swing off the contact being made off this short player. but Joshua turns away at the wrong moment. Dexter spotted a second player in Jack B, and he's able to win out the fight. Dexter in the 1 versus 4. He wins it out, gives Blackhand their third, and that's given them something to scream about.
That is the impact that we needed to see from Dexter yesterday. He has just gone instrumental in securing that third round for the Blackhand side, and what a way to do it. Oh, almost as stylish as you look today, Icon. My goodness me. Plays that perfectly around the bomb site, not giving up anything to the aggressing EMP players. Oh, that is just the ideal round for him to be taking. And Cypher does open up, but Dexter again swinging in with a trade. He's found his confidence now as Zulu bags another onto Joshua. It's a 4v3 now for Blackhand, and Christ, he's going to have to do a lot towards this A side to clear off these pesky offenders. Cypher, though, catches Dexter, finally shuts down the AWPer as Fraser does trade back, and again, an advantage retained. Christ sees another with a Mac 10 towards top ramp, but it doesn't look as if that will be there. No, okay, they are coming back to the A site. Christ needs to land this kill, and he will. Will they give him another? Instead, they give him a bullet to the brain.
Yeah, Moshi here, the lone man called upon, and at least he's in the correct position. He's on the right bomb site. The position he's playing as well is quite good to deal with this gap side aggression. If he's able to isolate a fight as the bomb plant goes down, but in fact he goes for the utility instead. Joust there holding the jump up, and Blackhand, they contain the situation. EMP's Kid, they made a gamble rotation there. They committed to that A bomb site, and it worked out almost in their favour had those kills gone their way. Blackhand, I feel like the decision-making at times is a little bit rushed. They had plenty of time on the clock to work with. They didn't really have to commit to a site, but it works out anyway. They get the trades. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it's been a great resurgence from the Blackhand boys here. And all off the back of that hero play from Dexter. I mean, without Dexter, this could very well be a 10-2 scoreline. Just the impact of that AWP clutch, it's still insurmountable. And Timo now, well, he's looking to deal some pain to these B-pushing pistols. Fraser in the flip side going up towards a short. Not seen anybody just yet. That's honestly a good thing for the T side. Timo cuts Jack B down early. No big green in his hands this time around. Instead, oh, look at this. A rear flank from Blackhand means they will be caught in a crossfire. Oh, and with that smoke raining down, they will be walking straight into two pistols who have been alerted to their position. And Joshua, well, he's good for one, but Timo ensures he's shut down quite quickly. It's Moshi and Christ in the 2v4, and, well, there's going to be very little Christ can do here other than maybe steal a rifle away if he's lucky. This is a fifth on the board to Blackhand when it was looking like they wouldn't even hit 3 rounds on their T side.
We said that this is the round that they needed to wake up on, that round where Dexter got the 1 versus 4 AWP clutch. And honestly, if he hadn't have done that, then I would have said this map's probably a write-off already. Yeah. He's kept the game alive in a big way, and I think he comprehends what he was able to do in that round because of the fact that he's won that. Now, the economy has been broken for EMP's Kids. They had to concede onto the low buy in this round. Blackhand up to 5, and if they're able to take the next gun round, we could potentially be seeing an 8-7 half here.
I don't want to say that just yet, because I feel like EMP's Kids still have the advantage in terms of just their playstyle, in terms of everything they brought to the CT side. But man, Blackhand, yeah, they've looked incredibly strong with their resurgence. I mean, EMP's Kids, they've got a bit of a rough buy on Jack B here. He's got no util. I don't think he has an upgraded sidearm. And armor has gone amiss. It is just going to be the glass cannon for him in middle here. Spent all of his cash to bring the big green into the fray. Will he be able to capitalize with it? As Blackhand have certainly woken up. Dexter, again, going for the early peaks towards the top of a ramp, and he's found great success here thus far. Can he replicate it? No one peeking him from short side. They've learned from their mistakes on this one. Instead, the sandbag jump spot, I believe, does come in. He's not looking at the right angle in order to capitalize, but it's not going to really throw anything out the window just yet. Still, ample opportunity for both sides. As Cypher goes for a boost I've only seen very recently in the UK scene. I've not seen this boost pulled out before, and it's enjoyable to watch, but I've not actually seen it be particularly successful yet.
It's a tough one, right? The only way that this will work out for you is if that close player, as he comes up the top side, is looking towards sandbag, right? This is the angle it's designed for, and that's exactly what's happened. Fraser comes up, Cypher cuts him down, but traded with two kills back from Zulu. Zulu has been doing great work in these man disadvantage situations. We saw him get some big opening entries on the pistol round as well, and he's a man that really needs to show up as a win condition for this Blackhand side. 3 kills for him in the round as the bomb plant does go down. Jack B cuts him down though in return, and Moshi able to burn onto Timo. Jack B gets a kill onto Dexter through the smoke, and Joust there now called upon to clutch in the 1 versus 2. He knows where both players are for the time being, but in fact he's wary of a potential gap side play. The smoke in front of the bomb is going to make things a little bit difficult, but they don't have a kit. Joust there, he's able to cut down the AWP of Jack B, and Moshi whiffs the spray. Joust there, the hero this time round. Dexter and Joust there, the wombo combo to keep this game alive for Blackhand.
Did he just go and try to defuse the bomb but pick up an A1S instead because he didn't know where it was planted?
It looked like there was something like that going on, yeah.
Oh my good lord, Ems kids, after bringing it back to a 2v1 from a 2v4, they just crumble. They crumble completely. They have the smoke wall. They just have to tap the bomb. They're unable to even find it in the midst of the chaos. And Blackhand, they've now only trailed by 2 rounds. It could very well be, as you said, an 8-7 half. It just looks so unrealistic. They were 8-2 down at one point. 4 times fewer rounds in their opposition, but now as they claw things back tooth and nail, 6 is already an incredibly respectful scoreline on the T side, and if they can find a 7th, they could well be winning this first map against all odds once again. The buy for Emskids, it is tragic. And Blackhand, look at the util alone. The util, the 4 rifles, the AWP, they've got every advantage they could possibly hope for. And it's just FAMASs in terms of rifles for the side of Emskids, and you know my feelings about the FAMAS, but Cypher doesn't give a damn. It's the 1 dig to start things off, and they will continue the fight for a 9-6 half.
Unbelievable opening kill there from Cypher. You can see why I was hyping up his Deagle ability in the early stages of this first map. Joust there, a heavy hitter so far in the game, hits the ground, but Cypher traded back is a massive kill from Timo. Cypher had recovered himself an AK. That will now be dropped to the floor. Moshi is been in this position, aggressive on the B stairs, 3 times so far in the half. And I wonder, surely at this point in the half, Blackhand have to be expecting him to be in a forward position like this. He's playing a nice off angle, but he misses his first opportunity on the jiggle of Timo. Now, the B bomb site is completely open for grabs. Crife's the first point of call on rotation, and Fraser's lurking middle cuts him down, no problem whatsoever. Massive damage dealt by Fraser onto Jack B as well. At least an AK recovered, but a one-man advantage as the bomb goes down. Joshua's on a fast flank, but he's given his position now away, and now he's in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, Fraser, he's been in mid every single round, yet this is the one Emskids leave him unaccounted for. One of the worst they could have possibly done so. Timo seals the deal onto Joshua, meaning that we are going to an 8-7 half finish again against all odds as Blackhand, they win 5 rounds in a row to seal the half. And if they can bring this momentum onto their CT side pistol, then the Emskids are in serious, serious trouble. I'd argue an embarrassing finish to the half with how they started.
Yeah, definitely the case. But one thing to note is that in the game against Temperate yesterday, Blackhand, they had a 9-6 half disadvantaged, and now they've managed to pull off a better half here against Emskids, surprisingly a better team. So they have come to play today, albeit in the later stages of that first half they showed up, but it's all right. They showed up is the main thing. Now, an all-important pistol.
Hold on, is that an Astralis pistol stack in middle?
It did look to be the case, but now the A play comes in, double smokes, is going to make sure that this bomb goes down safely. But Fraser opens things up with a kill through the smoke onto Crifes. Zulu spam as well has done such significant damage, and Blackhand are in a great position here to get this retake kicked off.
Yeah, and pushing through the smoke is Joshua, a very risky play because he pushes ahead of the flashbang. Moshi, though, good for a double. Joust there trades on back, but Jack B find another Jack B, good for more. Jack B with a 3K to drag that pistol round into the favour of EMSKids, and by God does he do it in style. They are going to secure themselves a lead for now, a 9-7 scoreline, but can they follow through with a conversion? We saw Blackcan lose a conversion back in the first half, which allowed things to spiral in the favour of EMSKids, but now that EMSKids have won that pistol, will the curse come back to bite them too?
Well, we know how the economy works these days. If Blackhand are able to win the 4-spy round in this situation, then it's EMSKids who are going to be down to that 1.4k and essentially have no choice but to force up and then eco the following round if they were to lose that. So, if Blackhand win this round, they could find themselves in a better position than they would have been in had they even won that pistol. So definitely an opportunity for them to get themselves back into this one from the get-go. But thank God for that close half, because had it not been for that, EMSKids might have been a few points away from a win already at this point.
Yeah, I'm excited to have a very close game for our grand finals, at least for the opening map. And Vertigo, another one of my favourites. It's a nice break from the norm of Mirage, Dust 2 and Inferno. But honestly, I'm excited to see Dust 2 as our next map because of, well, the UK flair that often comes with it. As Timo, he delivers a bit of flair of his own. Joshua goes down early after initially getting tagged by that scout on a ramp. And Cypher, well, Cypher's going to double up on his AK. Zulu cuts down Jack B, leaving us in the 3v2, but still a very winnable one with that AK picked on up. Oh, the grenade is brutal in towards Guardian position, where they have grouped up on the CT side, and it looks as if they still potentially want to go for this retake. Oh, Cypher! Oh, is that an ace?
Just one taps them both. I have no idea if he aced or... I think he did ace, actually. Jack B was the player who I noted as being the most amount of frags in the game, and Cypher's just overtaken him by 3 in one round.
He got at least 4 kills there. That was nutty from Cypher. I think he just aced. That is just incredible from the man. Okay, clearly he does not want to go down without a fight, and with that... I'm going to say ace. He brings himself onto a 10-7 scoreline with his team. And Blackhand, that is going to be a tough one to lose because of the fashion in which they lost it in. As you said, it's going to be just a very weak lack of investment here. They've got 2 flashbangs to rock up with their USPs. As much as a loss bonus will ensure that they can buy in the next round, this will allow EMSKids to spiral further into double-digit territory. This should be an easy 11th round for the EMSKids, unless Zulu can work black magic with that 5-7.
Zulu, definitely a player who's got a huge amount of individual skill, but with a 5-7 being the only upgraded pistol brought into this round, I think they may be asking a little bit too much of him. That being said, Blackhand have stacked the correct bomb site. EMSKids look to be wasting no time as they line up utility to execute onto A. But look at this, the players all go flying out. They've been flashed. Jack B with 2 and Cypher with 3. The 2 heaviest hitters for the EMSKids so far, both putting their name in the kill feed. And I tell you what, Jack B's going to be very happy with his HLTV stats for this map so far. Yeah,
also, Cypher loves an eco-frag. It happens time and time again. He's cutting them all down with his rifle, not letting the MAC-10 farm any extra cash. It's all about the rifle spray. And in fairness, it was a very nice spray. But that does leave Jack B still on the MAC-10 as they look to execute onto this B site. And thankfully, the flash is brilliant from Joshua as Jack B bags the frag and evens up the numbers. 4v4 ensues now, but still technically an advantage for the CT side in terms of weaponry.
I like the reaction here from EMSKids. They get that trade onto Timo. They know that space has to be filled over on the B side of the map, and they immediately react and head back to this A ramp side. Cypher's been lurking over here. He does get cut down, but he's covered a lot of ground. Ground that he knows now is clear for his team to progress up onto this A site. At least Blackhand have the advantage in terms of manpower. The utility is great for them as well. I would say that they have the advantage overall here, especially now as Zulu looks to fight on this gap side, gets the kill onto Jack B, a heavy hitter, but a good trade for Moshi through the smoke. Fraser's spam is perfect though. And now Moshi thrust into the 1 versus 3. Loads of HP to work with, but no bomb, and the smokes have now dissipated. He finds himself in a very difficult situation, and you can see how passive Blackhand are playing here. They're waiting for Moshi to make a play, come forward, try to get an opening pick so that they can react off the back of it. There's one. No immediate trade though, so space has been given to Moshi for the time being. He's aware now as to the position of the second man, and he's able to cut him down. But Jouster, the hero from the heavens, does get the immediate trade, thank the Lord, because those trades looked a little bit sketchy for Blackhand for a moment in that 1 versus 3.
I mean, the lack of trades, I would argue, is what looks sketchy in that 1v3. But now EMP's kids, they've got another full buy coming into this one, but with the CT economy shattered off the back of only one surviving over, it's 3 MP9s, an M4, and an AK. Lots of util dumped early doors towards ramp as well. Valuable util that could again be used for the latter round stages. I'd say decent grenade. It tags up Christ, Cypher and Joshua a bit, and I would say normally that'd be good for an A1S or an M4 to capitalise on headshots, but there's still a lot of MP9s in play here, and it might still not be enough for them as Cypher proves that point exactly. Takes the head off Dexter. Zulu now peeks back on in, and he should be good for a frag here. In fact, there's a spam through the wall as Zulu will pick up 2 as a consequence. 4 versus 3 now for the CT side as they look to continue dealing the pain to EMP's kids. Jack B creeping around the short side, or fully scoped on in. Will he be able to win this opening duel? No, he can't, as Fraser drops the AWP, drops the bomb, and things start to get frantic again for EMP's kids. Moshi shot down through the smoke, is left in another 1v3 scenario.
Oh my lord, I'm so surprised that Zulu was able to get that second kill onto Cypher on that ramp side. That's what flipped this round on its head. And Cypher is normally so good in those positions to get immediate trades. This one eluding him. And yeah, Moshi once again, the exact same 1v3 scenario that we saw in the previous round.
Same positions almost.
Pretty much, with only the one man behind the headshot box instead. But this time he doesn't get anywhere near the clutch. Timo cuts him down immediately. AWP recovered as well, can be handed on over to Dexter. And Blackhand, they start to build up a little bit of an economy here with those saved rifles. Now, EMP's kids are on the back foot.
I mean, with that lack of bomb plant too, economy in the doldrums. It's pistols for EMP's kids. And as much as a Tech 9 rush can be a bit of a gimmicky round win, you do have to win the round in order to celebrate it. Jack B running up with Crow's early doors, and it is a 1-for-1 trade, netting them an open bomb site as Dexter misses a crucial shot. Joshua bags another, but Fraser's doing great work, and instead of planting the bomb, Joshua's going to swing. That could have been free money if he stuck the plant. Moshi could have covered, and now again, it's a 1v3. It's the same damn angles most of the time. Moshi peeks on in, and it's Moshi again in this scenario, and it's not like he's baiting, he's just not there in time as Jouster cuts him down again, and EMP's kids are on 11 to the 10 now of Blackhand off the back of a 3 rounds in a row streak.
I tell you what, that spray down hold from Fraser was absolutely necessary to keep the round in tow. 2 untraded kills from the AWP.
I mean, I'm having deja vu,
I know, awful stuff there. Dexter really needs to get one in that engagement on the gap side. Zulu a little bit too far ahead, perhaps a bit too aggressive against the low buy, which they must have been aware was coming in. But now, in round number 22, we do see a full investment come out for the side of EMP's kids. Jack B once again with the AWP in hand. So far, I haven't seen too much impact from Jack on the AWP on this T side. Of course, it's the more difficult side to AWP on. Everybody knows that. And Vertigo, a map that it is viable, but it's not the most viable map to AWP on a T side.
The thing I do want to point out, though, is Joshua throws away a chance of winning that previous round. Instead of sticking the bomb plant, he goes for a wild swing with the Tech 9 and doesn't wait for his teammate to be up with him for a double swing. But Cypher, he's going to swing on his own, and it will pay dividends as that's Dexter removed early. An incredibly impactful AWPer in this game, and Cypher, as he finds Fraser, can't quite seal the deal onto Zulu, but Jack B certainly can. That's the impact you were looking for, Icon, as Jouster. He will lob a grenade straight on through, but it does minimal damage as Joshua, well, he makes up for previous mistakes in taking down Jouster, leaving just Timo in the 1v4, already spotted, forced to fall away. He will sit patiently in CT, hoping that one of these rifle players pushes him so he can pick up an AK and save. But instead of going for the AK pickup, it looks as if he does just want to... I've never seen this off angle before. But Timo, yeah, he will be able to save by the looks of things. And with that, it's 12 to Emps Kids, but a rocky buy should be able to come in around that M4 in terms of an SMG Force investment.
It's a difficult decision, right, because you are getting to the later stages of this second half. Emps Kids now 4 rounds away from winning, and if you concede to an eco here, then you mean that you're going to put them 3 away from a win, essentially, right? I don't see that there's an argument to be made that you can invest into this round, but never mind, I'm completely incorrect as Fraser wants to double down on this investment here. There's going to have to be some aggression out of these MP9s if we want to see a successful round here for the Black Hand CT side. And Timo, the only real rifle brought into the round, is going to be called upon in a big way, but that's a very aggressive opening frag there. Jouster's done well to take down Cypher.
Well, it's because of a loss bonus that they wanted to force into that round. They were only on the single digit. As Dexter, well, is going to lose out on the opportunity for an opening frag, but Jack B isn't there to trade it out. Nade lobbed over the top, lands at the feet of a couple of Ts. Again, not the most amount of damage. Instead, it's Joshua and Chris stealing the paint. 4 versus 3 as they push up the A-ramp once again. Molotov clearing out sandbags and a smoke to set up the wall. Jouster, he's locked out of the site again. And when you don't have the utility to retake on A, it can be a nightmare as a CT because it is such a util-heavy retake.
Yeah, I think the save has to be called very soon here if they aren't able to get a kill on the Black Hand side. A lot of damage dealt onto Christ there. But at this stage, you've only got the kit in play on the back of Timo. You do have a smoke, though. That's at least going for you. Laid out towards that gap side is going to allow the boys to get a little bit closer. Fraser's done an amazing bit of work here with these 2 opening kills. A third was on the cards, potentially, but he's been full blinded, and Timo's able to trade things out. A messy, messy retake, but it works out in favour of Black Hand. They keep this game going in a massive way, and now they really, really have a chance to pull ahead here.
Where the hell did that retake come from?
Fraser.
Well, yeah, Fraser. Everybody loves Fraser getting a double kill coming in there. And the flashbang, I mean, the flashbang was perfect. It does fall blind, both of the retaking CTs, but they just can't convert the sprays because I believe the top ramp player on that T side in the post plant was also fully blinded. And who would have thought that I'd be making fun of Emps Kids for not being able to capitalize on their post plant situations? They did have decent positioning there. They were just completely outgunned by an overconfident Fraser, but overconfidence was key in this one as he does get the opening double as we discussed. And now Blackhand, well, they may have an MP9 on Zulu, they may have limited utility across a couple of their players, but at least they have the confidence behind them, and they also have Jack B. Okay, he's not glass cannon, but he's got no utility of his own, and it's the same story for Moshi, which means it will be harder and harder for them to get into these post-plant positions in the first place.
Absolutely. No contesting from either side here in the early stages of our 24th round. We see a passive stance from the CT side, and Emps Kids creeping very slowly up the ramp. They're taking control of this A side of the map, and they've left, I believe, a lurker in the form of Jack B holding that angle towards middle, just to make sure that no CTs can get the information and potentially do an early flank around on this side if they do commit to the A-bomb site. 40 seconds on the clock, and now utility does start to come out from this T side.
Big molly from Dexter.
Yeah, a great molly in response from Dexter there, but this isn't the full execute just yet. They are now going to line up the smokes. Jack B's managed to get himself a collateral, traded out by Dexter. The A hit is coming in, and Zulu has gone uncleared for the time being. Dexter's run through the smoke with an AWP in hand, misses the only opportunity he was going to get for a shot, and now Timo, a 1v3 is demanded of you, my friend. If you want to keep this game in contention, then you have a decision to make now, and he's made it. Get the hell out of there, save that AWP and bring it forward into the next round. Emps Kids up to 13, Sneaky.
Icon, what the hell is this round again? This has just been maniacal through and through. 13 on the board for the T side off the back of Jack B's collateral in middle. I mean, it's a good job he was holding that rear flank, and because he gets that collateral, he spins one of the CTs to think that it's a B side execute because of how long he's waited and the fact that the T side don't execute up ramp immediately, but then Dexter pushes through a smoke, he catches Christ with a knife in his hand, and he goes down to Joshua. I don't even know how to break that down, other than it was complete pandemonium. Well, you could say it was a complete pantomime because it was just a case of he's behind you and then everything gets shut down. 13-11 now, 2-round deficit for this CT side, a weaponry deficit too, and it's going to be a tough one for Black Hand to claw back. But we've seen again what a Deagle can do at a 13-11 scoreline. Will they be able to replicate yesterday's successes? Or will it be EMP's kids finally finding their footing and spiraling this one too far out of reach as Cypher again finds that entry frag, and Fraser, a kingpin of this CT side, will be falling to the wayside. In fact, he is the top fragger for this defense.
Yeah.
As he has had a lot of impact so far.
Yeah, if you wanted to take anyone out in the early stages of the round, Fraser is the man with the target on his back 100%. And Timo taken out through the wall as well. Dexter's not really in a position to handle this B split right now. He has managed to get himself in through to CT side. They haven't cleared him.
Oh no,
but
Dexter.
A missed shot. He's being hunted. Joshua cuts him down. And now the economy is in the bin for Blackhand. Jouster's not in a position to even really attempt this retake. In a 1 versus 5 with an MP9, what are you realistically going to do?
And you could tell that Dexter had given up after missing that AWP shot as well. He didn't even expect to have enough time to swivel back around. And because he was so unprepared for that fight, he isn't able to land the kill, isn't able to crucially save that AWP despite the drastically low economy. And, well, as you said, Jouster, he's not in a position to do anything. He's going to want to try and pick up a rifle to bring into the next round, but I think that might be a mission, well, a mission impossible. As Jouster sneaks around in the backline, does swing out, does catch Joshua off guard. Can he catch another? Not quite. Jack B dinked in the process, but seals the kill. 14-11 now. And this is where Black can have to play for overtime. I talked about this yesterday. I don't want to see a force buy. I want to see them play for 15.
Yeah. Absolutely. The loss bonus is now stacked up in their favour. At least they're going to get that 2.4k in the back pocket. So Joust there will have a decent buy. But the rest of the boys only on 3.4k. The lack of utility is going to be significant going into that full buy round, next round. Kills in a round like this are impactful, but not for the reason you'd expect. If they can get an extra $300 per kill with a USP, at least it will buff them up a little bit. Able to get enough for smoke out, a HE, something like that. Could help them out massively when we find EMP's kids on 15. Of course, though, if any of these players on EMP's kids go down, it's not really the end of the world. Jack B's got plenty in the reserves, Moshi as well. Crifes, well, all of them sitting over 2k. They're not going to have any troubles whatsoever economically.
I mean, as long as they can survive with 2 or more players, which shouldn't even come down to that, yes, they will be fine. On the flip side, Blackhand, they need to pick up 1 or 2 frags here. I know it's just the USPs that they need every advantage they can muster coming into this final round, because it will be a rocky buy. They will be able to buy rifles, probably FAMASs if they want to go for that armor and util. Kits will probably be missing, which is always a scary prospect when you've seen how close some of these rounds have become. And now, as EMP's kids creep their way up this A ramp, they start to deploy. Well, okay, they try and deploy their util. They miss the easy molly as Blackhand. Well, this is a deadly 3-man stack towards the short side. This could actually come back to bite the EMP's kids if they're not prepared for this eventuality. But Cypher, again, he loves an eco frag. Christ as well picks up 3, and that is a tragic round for Blackhand. Now, with EMP's kids on 15 on that match point, they're looking to steal away their opposition's pick and set themselves up for a swift 2-0 on Dust 2, because as we discussed, Dust 2 is these guys' playground.
Yep.
I don't think Blackhand will be able to compete at the same level as them. This needs to be an overtime.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to see Blackhand get their way back into this round. Dexter, with the rifle in tow here this time round on the CT side, and he's able to find impact immediately. Dexter on the CT side of Vertigo is much better with the rifle than the AWP from what we've seen so far. Timo's able to get a kill back, takes a flash to the face though, but a dink on Tomoshi is significant at this stage as Jouster is able to trade. A 4 versus 2 advantage for the CT side, a massive grenade, and that means Jack B and Crifes are able to activate onto the site. What was a 4 versus 2 becomes a 2 versus 1. Zulu's positioning is being overlooked for the time being. A 1v1 coming down. Jack B versus Zulu. Jack B doesn't take the bait. He hits the shot. And EMP's kids go up 1-0 in the series. Ladies and gents, they take Blackhand's map pick away from them. And going into Dust 2 next, they have lined themselves up perfectly for that 2-0 grand finals.
Oh, I mean, what a way to finish. And impeccably played there by Jack B. As soon as the bomb planter goes down, he knows he can win this. He has the information, and also very well played to have the awareness to make sure you're not planting 4 stairs, which you're unable to cover at the time. And yeah, what looked like an incredibly close affair through and through does slip a little out of the hands of Blackcan toward the end. And yeah, with that, a very solid game from EMP's Kids, despite the earlier mistakes and despite throwing away what could have been a very advantageous CT half. But yeah, enough of our ramblings, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back in just a couple of minutes with the second map of Dust 2. Don't go anywhere until then. We'll see you in a few moments.
Hello, Overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?
Somebody, how long he will be on my mind.
Moving like a soldier. Moving like a soldier. Moving like a soldier.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our third and final day here at EPIC36. Teams have been and gone, Titans have fallen, and we find ourselves with Blackhand versus the EMPS Kids, a 1-0 lead going into their map pick for the EMPS Kids. And oh lord, this one might be all said and done very, very soon, Sneaky.
Well, let's not underestimate Blackhand. They do have the buff of the fact that it is a grand finals. You know, you don't want to go home with your tail between your legs. You want to deliver as good a fight as possible. But talking about as good a fight as possible, I definitely think they should have done better on their own map pick. Vertigo ended 16-11 in favor of the EMS Kids, and whilst it was an incredibly competitive series all the way through, despite EMS Kids having a dominant start, yeah, they just sort of disappeared in the last 5 sort of rounds. They were competitive in some of them, but they just couldn't get anything over the line. And a couple of clutches, a couple of close affairs. Yeah, it was just rampant craziness through and through. And with that, EMS Kids, yeah, they got the map up, and they're looking strong to go on Dust 2, one of the favourites of a couple of these players.
I think the trouble for Blackhand on that CT side was the fact that they just weren't able to cut their losses in certain situations. When you get to Counter-Strike being played at this level, there needs to be an element of discipline in your play style. Knowing when to go for the trade, knowing when not to go for the trade, knowing when to get that kill and back away. You know, there's a lot of situations where it's fine if you're able to just get the one trade, fall back away, let the bomb go down and play for that retake. And I don't feel like we saw that enough from the Blackhand side. They tried running through smokes. They tried to hold bomb sites where they didn't have the manpower to do so.
Yeah.
And in the end, it didn't work out in their favour. I believe it was a 16-11 finish in favour of the EMS Kids. And now we go to their map pick on Dust 2, a game... or a map, excuse me, where they are very, very comfortable. I casted them versus Temperate yesterday, and they absolutely ran through the Temperate boys, no problem whatsoever.
Did they start on T-side as well?
They started... Oh, yeah, it was their map pick, so they started T-side as well, and absolute stomping.
Yeah, a 16-7. It's clear to see this is a map they're very comfortable on, and it's a map they're comfortable pugging on. Because, as we said, this is a mix, and when you're able to go free reign, play that more puggy style, especially when you're confident in your aim, like these guys clearly are, yeah, that's when you can really deal the pain to a pre-standing roster. And it often comes that like X-Mad Lions, as an example, were able to win Republic because of the fact they weren't practicing together. They were just doing the most random thing they possibly could, and because they have the aim to back it up, they won rounds, they won games, they beat, you know, top 10 in the world teams, because it was so unexpected. It's so hard to deal with players who were just running around like headless chickens with a rifle in their hand, because you try and use your set pieces and they're completely useless against a team like EMS Kids. That's the comparison I was going for.
Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way, mate. 100%. Mixes are so unpredictable, so... unpredictable times 2, I guess, is what I'm going for. They are really all over the place, but when you back that up with an individual level that this team brings to the table, especially when you have a man like Cypher dropping like 30 kills in that last match. Jack B was up somewhere like 26 as well. And here we go, we get things kicked off. Timo, the first man to be called upon, and a double setup towards Long. A good trade from Zulu, but only good for the one. And Joshua, a great 2 entries on the long side. Not a lot of utility to allow a safe cross here, however, just the one flash on the back of Moshi. And it's up to Fraser, who's holding the line right now from CT Spawn, to put a stop to this long cross.
I'm surprised they've not committed more bodies to the A site already. I know they haven't finished the cross, but at the same time, they don't have any control of short. They've not pushed the affair in middle. And Jack B now, well, he's walked all the way up short. They've got all the information they could possibly need on the side of EMS Kids. And Fraser, is he going to go for a Kukli style? Not just yet, but... well, does attempt it, doesn't land the kill, and with that man advantage retained for EMS Kids, and instead it's Fraser to get dinked on down. Jack B capitalizes, and Dexter, well, he does trade one back, but Moshi's not been cleared yet, and he's got a brutal P250, and he's not going to do much with it. Dexter through the wall catches Moshi, it's still going, Jouster, 1v1! No! There's no way, Jouster! Not like this in the opening round! And Blackhand, they steal it away. He runs out of ammunition on Long, and Jouster, that is just daylight robbery.
3 HP, the difference maker. between Blackhand and Emps Kids when it's all said and done. Joust there spins on his heels, complete 180, and is able to make the adjustment onto that quick headshot. Credit to him for that. That is exactly the start that Blackhand needed into this game, but we've seen them struggle against these forced buy investments here, Sneaky. They have to convert here, and if they aren't able to do so, Emps Kids can get the momentum swinging back in their favour straight away.
That is a huge throw from Emps Kids, though. That round was there, said and done. The plant was free. They just had to sit back. Even if they know that Joust there is low, even if they know exactly where he is, you don't need to swing him one by one at the very least. And with the P250 not getting reloaded in the car position, well, as you said, it comes back to bite them. 3 HP was all that was in that round. And now, with a forced investment into this round for Emps Kids, if they lose again, that doesn't set them up in the best of positions early doors on their T side. Fraser spots a lot of these Emps Kids players running his direction, though. The smoke will be deployed. And it's a 2v5 on this bomb site with Fraser starting strong. Joust here with a huge double.
Ooh.
Joust there makes it 3, and this man is multi-kill central from the get-go.
Yeah, great stuff there on the site defense from Joust there. Fraser committed, he smoked off the double doors, and he played behind the smoke, so any T's come running through, they are grey screen still, but he can see the gun barrel. So well played there, he gets the kill that he needed, and Joust there on the rifle mops up everybody else. So, great stuff there from Blackhand. It got a little bit close for a second there, but well contained. And now Emps Kids, they concede. They go back down to the Deagle round. And I wonder, will we be seeing any Deagle heroics from Cypher and Jack B this time?
Well, it starts off pretty rough. Moshi actually to find the 1D onto Fraser to trade. So, well, they do at least keep things costly and slightly competitive. But Zulu with the MP9, I reckon he just mops up in middle here. And yeah, that is really impressive stuff from Zulu. The long-range MP9 kill and still readjusting as much as the pressure was being applied from the double doors players on the CT side. Emps Kids with what they were able to pull off in the last map, I would have thought there would have at least been another kill coming through there with the upgraded pistols. But Blackhand, 3-0 start, very strong. If Emps Kids lose this one, the opening gun round, especially against the bonus buy of Blackhand, they're going to be put in a nightmare scenario. And risky util thrown there by Blackhand, but they don't show themselves towards the AWPer, and actually a decent amount of damage as Zulu. Oh, it's a good effort, but instead it's Dexter to find the frag.
Oh, Jack B looking to go for the trade here, but this is the discipline that I was talking about. Blackhand, they cut their losses here. They make sure that they get the advantage, and then they concede the control that they'd previously taken. They readjust and change their positioning, and this has put them in a great position here. An angle being held by Dexter is perfect for a frag, and Fraser peeks off the back of it, and a nicely done round there from the Blackhand CT side. This is looking good so far, Sneaky. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Blackhand, a little bit more discipline in the playstyle. They've reacted well to some situations as well. The utility there towards long to take down Moshi was perfect, so good stuff so far.
Yeah, it was a lot less risky than I thought it would be. I thought he was going to go full blind and swing too far because the flashbang does hit him. But no, great discipline. And as you said, the util is good. But what's even better in that round is a fantastic top mid play. They charge 4 CTs up the straight up middle, and they do lose the opening man, but they trade it quickly. Jack B is isolated on the AWP. He's not able to find that second frag. And yeah, with that Blackhand 4-0 up, and whether this is technical or tactical, I could not tell you. But as it continues to ensue, Kreitz, he does have an AK here, but that will be a hero AK to the best of my knowledge. Maybe even a mistake buy with the way that the Emps economy is looking. Blackhand, though, yeah, they are no slouch in terms of weaponry, and also just there, no slouch. 5-0 early doors. As he has an AK and full util to bring into the fray in round number 5.
Yeah, Crife's going for this investment here. My heart tells me that that is an accident, and they're just going to commit to the hero AK as a result of it. So, fair enough. We do see hero AKs more commonly than we used to do anyway, so there's definitely an argument to be made for it. But
well, it's full loss bonus as well, so we can always bring out that Galil in the next round, and the rest of the team can afford a buy. This is just a let's deal as much damage as possible scenario if it was an intentional purchase. But I do hear a lot of typing right now, and we do have a round reset. I don't know.
It was an accident.
No, would you reset a round for a misbuy though? I don't think that's allowed. I don't really know what's happened there.
That's exactly what's happened. He's
it
misbought and they've
was a
asked for a
misbuy.
restart. So the admin has permitted them to do such a thing. And we do see that occasionally happen in professional play where they go for a restart. It's not the most common thing in the world, I agree with you. Perhaps he just fat-fingered his keyboard, some situation like that.
I don't know if that's in the rules, though. Can we get a confirmation from production as to why we had a round restart? Oh, well, they'll check back in with us in a moment. But what EMP's kids need to check is the fact that Joustaire's peeked up from underpass. And Joshua, he does trade things out fairly nicely, but I don't know how much further they can go in this 3v4. Again, only that single rifle now on Cypher. And Blackhand, yeah, it's a pretty solid looking round thus far,
yeah, they've
especially
got
with
full
Fraser.
range. They've got full range of the map entirely, right? So they've got full control of middle. Fraser's here on rotation to help out Timo, and a lovely little adjustment onto the head of Cypher. Moshi now with a rifle picked up. He has got armor to work with, but he just keeps getting continuously flashed. A nice 3k there from Fraser in the end, and a 5-0 start for Blackhand on the map pick of their opponent is a great spot to be in right now.
Yeah, it's very, very solid stuff. And if they can continue this dominance on the CT side, if they can bag themselves 10 rounds, I'm going to say 10 rounds, it's ambitious because this is still EMP's Kids map pick and it is still early doors. If they can find that, they can win this. And I would have every confidence in them. Fraser, though, every confidence in his own abilities as he creeps up, sees the elbow. Brilliant frag onto Jack B as he swings on out. And that early aggression again rewards Blackhand. There is nothing EMP's Kids can do to trade this as Christ is too slow in retaliation. And the smoke and Molotov will be rattling through the double doors in order to try and distract from the fact that long is where they're hitting. And it does draw attention over towards middle, but not enough to really warrant, I'm going to say, a successful round for EMP's Kids here. Blackhand just look too good right now.
Yeah, the setup on the correct side of the map as well. We've got two players behind this smoke setup.
Oh,
and
Zulu, man.
And Fraser are able to cut players down before they're even managed to make it to the ramp side. Joshua has crept his way on up here. He's been spotted out by Dexter's AWP, but cut down. Timo deals with Moshi in the meantime, and another for Timo as well. So very nicely done once again for the Blackhand side. And that whole round stemmed from the get-go of Fraser's bold push through that mid-smoke. Knows Jack B sits in the position to hold the short side, and he's able to get the opening kill on an unsuspecting AWP. Great stuff from Blackhand so far. I'm actually very, very impressed with the way that they're playing their Dust 2 CT side, considering that this is not their map pick.
Yeah, and also CT side is often a point of struggle for a lot of teams on Dust 2, more recently than not. And I'm not entirely sure what it is. I guess it is the fact that rotations are a little complex, and this is probably the best map for selling fakes. There's a lot of util finicky stuff you can get done, but Joshua, he's not going to get finicky about things. Instead, he decapitates Timo on the entry, and EMP's Kids finally have an opening frag. It's something they've been struggling with for quite a while now because of Blackhand's unprecedented aggression, but it happens again. Fraser, in middle, takes out the AWP player of Jack B. And, well, Dexter is looking to do some damage with his own AWP as the Molotovs, the flashes, the smokes, they rain on in. Then Joshua catches the opener. Dexter to trade one, not the second, as Cypher shuts him down. Finally, a man advantage for this T-side. And as the digits are punched into that bomb, Joustaire, an absolute mischievous player, will have backhand from Fraser. Fraser catches one, Joustaire the next. Joshua in the 1v2, dancing around the back of Goose, looking frantically towards short. He doesn't realise that both players have jumped off. They've gone for the boost, but that might have come back to bite them instead. It's Joustaire to swing on in. Beautiful double swing in the end of things. And the AWP retrieved the round one again for the CT side. And that's 7-0 now to Blackhand as EMP's Kids are getting absolutely steamrolled on their T side.
Wow, that boost actually scared me there. Not the most wise decision to go for a boost in that situation. It does offer up a 1v1 gunfight to them. At least Joustaire is able to swing out in time to get the immediate trade. But had they just both swung up the ramp side, I would make an argument that that was a safer decision in that situation. Anyway, they win the round out, so we won't talk about that one too much. Cypher wants to just straight disrespect his way into the B-bomb site. Timo's been cut down by Jack B as well in the meantime, and this round is looking so good for the EMP's Kids already. Ryoshua with his second kill of the round, and Jack B with another
Jack
as
B.
well. And only one frag going the way of Blackhand in this round means that Emps Kids, they get their foot in the door and they make a bit of a statement there on this round. It shows that they have come to play here. They've woken up a little bit, because so far the individual aim has been lacking a little bit.
I mean, yeah, they had to make a statement in that round because otherwise they were getting bodied. The money is good enough for a reinvestment on the CT side because they have been usually keeping 3 or more players alive, as much as a couple of these rounds have been down to the wire. Jouster has been consistently able to clutch them over the line. Imagine what a different game we'd be seeing here if the pistol round had been won by Emps Kids, as it arguably should have been. And also, we have to factor in the mental game of the screams and cries in that land hall. We've heard already that Kreitz has been going nuts on that previous game, so I imagine the Black Can BM will be coming back even stronger now that it's Emps Kids who have fluffed so many of that lines in the early doors of Dust 2. And talking about early doors, Fraser early out of double doors every single round, finding that kill into Jack B, ruining his confidence, but this time he does win that opening AWP duel. Timo with the trade, 4v4 ensues, but the CTs, they're getting aggressive through that smoke as Jouster, he holds the line, so does Zulu. Fraser bags another, and Emps Kids, just as they show a glimmer, a silver lining of good gameplay. Jack B finds a no-scope, can't quite find the 180 onto the CT player. That was almost a great clutch attempt.
If he had hit that second shot, I could have mistaken Jack B for Simple for a split second there.
Yeah, that was
that no-scope was
something.
crispy. Nicely done in the end there by Blackhand. The B defense was very effective. They have the double set up towards that car side, and the kills just come well in their favour. I do have to credit Timo, though. His spam through the smoke made it all the more doable for those B defenders, taking down a player. And as I talk about the man, he puts another 2 kills in the feed and gives a massive advantage to the CT side of Blackhand once again. Aggression up top middle has been checked for by Christ, but that's the bomb dropped outside the long doors. Cypher's walked all the way through B, but it's kind of irrelevant at this point because there's no ground to be covered without the bomb. What can you do in this situation? Moshi's elsewhere on the other side of the map with an AWP in hand.
Hold on, Cypher, this is a knife.
He's
How the
looking
hell
for
has
someone
Cypher
else.
gotten here?
He's looking for someone else.
Oh no! Oh, he's been spotted, but Dexter is unable to find the frag. Cypher's trigger discipline almost comes back to bite him, but thankfully he bites first. Moshi now peeking his way through the long doors, doesn't want to push through that smoke, especially not with an AWP just yet. But they've got a good idea of where the CTs are. They've encapsulated them in a tiny area of the map towards T-spawn, but Jouster, he's expecting this mid-peak. Cypher has to be on the ball, and he's looking the wrong way. Continues to creep round that corner, sees the head of the first, and Jouster will go down. Cypher, I still don't know how the hell he made his way through to the backlines of CT, but it's not going to matter as Fraser and Zulu, they're going to seal the deal, and Blackhand, they find themselves a 9th.
An incredible CT side from the Blackhand side so far. Yeah, Cypher, he managed to creep out through B. He must have caught some timing on the player,
definitely.
Dexter, holding the AWP, because Dexter was... I think he actually turned and looked at him and thought, hang on, you're not on my team, and then got shot in the face.
It took us a minute to notice too, as Yosha, well, he notices Timo in the open, thankfully. But Zulu, he's got the elevated angle. Only a single frag. Dexter now has to go big with this AWP, dancing around the ninja boxes. But Emps Kids, again, they've let themselves a decent chance around.
Emps Kids do not read this position right now. They're not bursting. They're not dumping utility on it. And you can see through the
Well, got no
radar
util.
that not a single player on the Emps Kids side has even faced somewhat in this direction. Not wary of Dexter's angle. I like the patience from Dexter so far, but he needs to activate at some point as this utility comes in. Now he begins to peek out. The scope will have been heard, and he hits the quick flick onto Moshi through the box. Jouster able to finish that one off. There's no smoke to deal with Cypher's AWP, holding the bomb from all the way at the back of long. Cypher chimes in, Crife's good for 1, and Cypher once again, the second round on the board for the Emps Kids on their map pick, and maybe we can start to see them get back into this one. We could see the 9-6 half very, very possibly still, considering the economy situation now for the Blackhand side.
Also, just a quick callback to the round that was reset. It wasn't because of a misbuy, it was due to a tech issue. I was going to say, I don't think it's this in the rule book that you can reset if you miss by, because that is definitely a function that would be abused. Oh, but talk about abuse. Krives abused by a 4-stack of pistols towards A long. They do get one for a bit of good measure, but the bomb now can be picked up and taken over to the empty B site. Jack B on that AWP does miss an opening opportunity for a frag towards CT, but he's not going to be too upset about that. It is just the pistols outside of Jouster on the saved over rifle. They will be looking to try and find a frag onto him, but Cypher, yeah, he's doing the dirty work thus far. Jouster sits towards the A long doors, realizes it's not really worth going for this frag. It won't do much to aid his own situation, especially if he goes down. And with that, EMP's kids, they do pick up 3. And as you said, there is potential for 6 rounds and a half, but a long way to recovery.
Yeah, so after this round loss, 2-round loss bonus, so $2,400 injected into the back pocket of all of the Black Hand members. Jouster, an argument could be made to go hunting for some kills, but in the later stages of the half, it's not going to have as much impact as you would like. Goes down anyway, not able to bring that AK-47 forward into the round. And now, as a result, in fact, he goes down to an MP9 on Dust 2. An MP9, when you've got long gunfight engagement, he's going to have to find a way to have some impact here with this gun, and it looks like they're sending him straight out towards the long side. In fact, no, he's B. Dexter cuts down Krives early on, able to get the first frag of the round and the second onto Joshua as well, as the long hit is completely dismantled. EMP's kids immediately redirect. They head towards the short, and they're keeping up the pace that they started this round off with. No fear from them. Moshi with a huge entry kill, and a second for Moshi as they enter into the A bomb site. Cypher's aware of this third man in CT, able to get the kill onto Timo, and the second onto Jouster, but Dexter to trade. They get it done in the end. Such a fast round from both sides, and I like the EMP's kids, even though they lost the 2 initial kills on that long take, they weren't deterred. They tried just to speed things up down the short catwalk instead, and they almost got it done. But
I mean,
hand up to 10.
Yeah, props to Cypher for the effort, but shout out to Dexter for, again, the prominent CT rifling, not AWPing. Picks up 4 in that one, a hero for his squad, and EMP's kids denied that opportunity for 6. Now they're pushing for 5. They do have the buy for it again. Because of the amount of economic damage they deal in these closer rounds, the CTs have been forced onto a FAMAS and 2 SMGs, but Zulu doesn't give a damn about what weaponry he's been dealt. Well, apparently he does, but Fraser catches the kill instead. Krives will fall to the wayside, and with that, EMP's kids again have a disadvantage, and they don't have Jack B with them to take this bomb site instead. They got Moshi finding the head of 1, looking for the second, and he will capitalize. Brings it back into a 3v3, and with a little bit of utility left, they are still in an advantage position. Timo being boosted up though could try and deny something instead. It's Timo doing the boosting. Moshi decapitates Fraser, and it's a 3v2. Make that 3v1 as Moshi, he's a monster, and he's gonna find all of them. What an incredible round for Moshi. By God, EMP's kids needed a hero, and Moshi will step up to the plate.
Wow, what a round from Moshi. In the round prior as well, Moshi showed up in a big way. He's really come to life in the latter stages of this first half, and it's going to be up to him to continue this. Make sure EMP's kids can get their 5th round on the board here, because it's kind of a minimum 5 rounds on this T side of Dust 2. It is a slightly CT-sided map in the current meta since the changes that they've made to that T spawn side, but they're bringing the pace down long once again. Moshi here to lead the charge. So much utility going back and forth, but Zulu is able to get the kill, traded away. Fraser's flank has been cut down immediately, and this round has fallen by the wayside for the Black Hand side. They had no real investment into the round with just the upgraded pistols. Timo will cut down Jack B, but straight away traded, and Jouster, the final man in the dirt. 10-5 on EMP's kids map pick. And now Black Hand, they need to follow through, take this one to a map 3, which of course, Sneaky, would be overpass if we can get there.
Yeah, despite my Moshi Monsters references, that was a serious finish to the half. And EMP's kids, well, they've got a lot of catching up to do, as they really got dealt a killing blow consistently there by Black Hand. Fraser, again leading the charge for this Black Hand side, has a lot of responsibility with that utility early doors. Smoke already expended, but Jack B getting aggressive up a long this early. Is he going to push the affair through double doors? Yes, he will. He even hears the catwalk players rushing down towards middle. This is a huge flank from the man. It'll have so much information packed behind it as Dexter attempts to push on through. Gets spotted immediately by Moshi. Great crossfire. Fraser, though, misses an opportunity. Dink down himself and cut through by Jack B on the rear flank. It's a 5v3, but they do run lower tunnel, and they will remove the flank.
The A bomb site is completely open right now. Blackhand, of course, they're not going to be aware of it, but they have spotted 3 players contesting the fight in middle. They rush themselves over to the site. They're going to be able to get a bomb plant at the very least. Timo punching in the numbers. Joust there to defend, but he can't get anything done. And now Timo called upon in a 1 versus 4. He gets the first kill on the ramp. The second jumping around in the air. And Moshi's able to get that kill over the line. EMP's kids take the pistol round that they so direly needed at this stage in the game.
Yeah, with that pistol round secured, they have an opportunity to capitalise on the conversion and the follow-through. But I reckon Blackhand will be going for the force buy here. It's Dust 2. It's typical fashion. Grab a couple of Galils. There we go. And just run your way out long like a madman. But they don't appear to be looking towards long. Or at least not the first man in. Bomb on the back of Fraser. And they go for a slower playstyle here despite their force buy investment and rush utility in tow. The Desert Eagle of Fraser has been impeccable thus far the entire tournament. Jouster on his Tech 9 also finding impact, but EMP's kids again the superior weaponry. And Jack B, he loves his scope weapons, gone for the AUG in this scenario, which does sometimes help with the incredibly long range fight of Dust 2. Joshua doesn't give up his cubbyhole position and falls away without getting tagged by the molly, so that's not information gained just yet for the side of Blackhand. Instead, Cypher, well, he's about to gain a lot of information as they push towards his position, and he will go down to the Eagle. Christ unable to trade, means it's an advantage to Blackhand.
Christ has taken a lot of damage on that initial engagement as well. Right now, Blackhand are in a great position if they want to commit to this A site hit. Joshua on the ramp, and Christ dedicated himself towards long, but no utility for these CTs as the Ts come barreling up the short side. Joshua and Christ, though, the crossfires are impeccable. Moshi's rotations here in time as well, and Joust there with Jack B's recovered org in hand has got it all to do in a 1 versus 3 situation.
But look at the health on them though. It is certainly doable. He just needs to isolate these fights. 100 HP versus a combined total of less.
Good smoke.
Again, yeah, it's a good smoke, but it's an even better shot from Moshi. Beautifully done. Jouster will fall, and that's 7 on the board for EMP's kids. Money now in the bin for the Blackhand side. They can go for the upgraded pistols, and Fraser certainly jumps at the opportunity, but EMP's kids, they need to jump at this one to find themselves that all-important 8th, find that 3 in a row, and Jack B, after his expensive AUG investment, will be back down to the auto-shotty, but an auto-shotty against pistols is not only fun to watch, but it can also be a cash cow when implemented correctly.
Yes, absolutely. Jouster and Fraser, the only individuals who have actually brought an upgraded pistol into the round, and Cripes mops up 4 quick kills and an ace for Cripes. I can hear him screaming in my ears right now, and he's nowhere near us. That is how loud Cripes likes to get. He's got the Joker laugh. We saw it at the last Epic event when he was playing with Dusty, and honestly, sometimes I hear it in my sleep. It's that terrifying.
He haunts me in my dreams, man, and that's the effect he's going to have on Blackhand as they can't even slip away a single kill, a single rifle. But Fraser isn't going to be the man to entry. Instead, it's Moshi again onto Timo. Timo's had rotten luck in the past couple of rounds, just getting bullied first down. Fraser takes a bit of chip damage from that HE raining into pit. But otherwise, things have again slowed down, except Jack B. He's not slowed down at all. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Disrespectful.
That's a massive early rear flank, clearing out all of T-Spawn. And if he picks up the pace a little, he might even be able to join the gunfight before Cypher kills them all. Although, talking of Cypher killing them all, it's Fraser and Joshua instead to deal the pain. Fraser's still alive, 1v2, and he's very, very aware of this rear flank potential. He can now isolate these duels. The EMP's kids, boys, they just need to play this one together and play this one safely.
Yeah, the presence of mind there from Fraser to Molotov off Jack B on the long flank just really shows his experience here, but he hasn't considered it for long enough. Jack B with a bit of a whiff spray, but he will convert it in the end. And EMP's kids now, they get things up to a 1-round deficit between them and Blackhand. And Blackhand, once again, the economy not in a great position. They have no choice but to go down onto a half investment. In fact, Fraser, yeah, loss bonuses are well in tow for them to get a Galil out in play as well. So at least they'll be able to have somewhat of a competitive round. They have some util and pistols to work with, and a fast, long play coming out from the T side of Blackhand. Joust there to open things up with a kill onto Jack B.
Jack B's had a pretty rough game of it so far. As much as his flanks have been impactful, outside of those flanks, on the AWP itself, he really has been struggling. And, well, there is a train coming through. Joust there will fall as Cypher bags another in mid. Crifes does catch Fraser, but Dexter's still fighting with the Tech 9. And the health is pretty good still on these two T players. Galil picked up. Joshua misses the opening opportunity, but catches Zulu off guard, leaving just Dexter in the 1v3. Does bait out the shot successfully, but Joshua, what a flick! PD50 decapitates Dexter where he swings, and that is a 10-10 scoreline with EMP's kids picking up 5 CT rounds in a row, looking to deal the same level of pain straight back to Blackhand that was done unto them in the first half. And, well, can I just take you back to that Temperate game? Temperate started on that CT side, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how many rounds that they picked up on that CT side versus how many they picked up on T?
Off the top of my head, I think Temperate had 4 rounds.
So Temperate had 4 CT rounds
Yes.
and 3 T. Well, Blackhand so far have 0 T rounds, so they will be looking to improve on that figure shortly. Into the 4v4 we go early doors though, as Joshua is going to boost his teammate up above this smoke, see if they can catch Fraser off guard, but oh, Fraser, he's sneaky with it. He's hiding underneath the boxes and Cypher's looking the wrong way.
Ooh. He's found a little gap here, in fact, Fraser, hasn't he? Crifes has got a very forward position towards this long side, but you can see Fraser calling everyone from the Blackhand side back over to this B bomb site. The rotation of Cypher is dealt with by Fraser, and that's a massive kill to get at this stage, and it isolates Moshi inside this B bomb site. Moshi good for another kill with those 5 bullets in hand, but Zulu trades out. 2 versus 2 situation as the bomb site is now in the hands of the Blackhand side. But look, we've already got a fast flank coming in from Crifes. Joshua being the man of distraction, throwing utility out. The smoke begins to fade, and surely they have to consider the fact that this could be a split on a retake here. Joshua still activating, making so much noise. They're going to be aware of Timo's position somewhat, and he's unable to get the first kill onto Crifes. Another successful CT round for EMP's kids. That puts them in 6 in a row, and now for the first time on our second map, they take the lead.
That had to be around for Blackhand. That absolutely had to be. And, well, harking back to yesterday's problems of failing their post plants, that's going to be a tough loss to swallow, especially when they had good positioning. And they still had a bit of util left, if I'm not mistaken, that could have been used to force away those CTs, run that clock down and just win on time. But that's not going to happen. It's EMP's kids again capitalizing as Blackhand. They've got another buy to come through here. And a lot of util courtesy of that bomb plant. But Jack B, again, watching patiently towards the middle. Oh, flashed off the angle at just the wrong time. But Jack B goes back for the swing and finds the frag. Dexter, though, finds one of his own. And Cypher forced to trade again. 3v3 ensues. And it's just all over the shop in the early stages of these Dust 2 rounds. And Mochi, oh, he gets them off guard again. Good for the double. Fraser 1v2. And it's Cypher and Joshua to again deal a killing blow. But it will be a post-plant situation more than likely. No, Fraser's going good. Will hunting.
I absolutely love this from Fraser, not committing to that plant, but he's not able to win the fight against Joshua. The door was being shut behind him by Cypher as well. That's why that decision could have been so impressive had he picked up the kill on the lurking player in middle. But now I'm getting very, very concerned for Blackhand's T side.
This reminds me of Eco from the last finals. They were 11-4 up, and then they just threw it all away. EMP's kids are doing the exact same. They are the Dusty in this situation.
Absolutely, and we can see a pause comes out for the Blackhand side, just having a little conversation about the money situation, about how they want to play out this half investment round.
The lack of bomb plant was so costly as well. They could have gone for the full buy round if that bomb had been planted, because look, they still have 1.5k left, and they've got util, and they've got upgraded pistols. It's just, I understand the decision making from Fraser, but I think the bomb plant was the more important factor in that scenario, and then you can walk through the double doors as Jack B walks straight into a bunch of pistols. Good for the double. Oh, good for this quick scope onto Fraser. Doused there, 1v5, and well, he does pick up 2 for good measure as Joshua quickly removes him from play. 13-10 now, and how many rounds in a row is that? I do believe that's 8, Icon. 8 rounds in a row on the CT side for EMP's kids, and I think one of our points was CT sides are normally a little bit more rocky with mixed teams. EMP's kids, they're like, no, screw you, we're just going to win out in a dominant fashion, and Blackhand have looked miserably poor on their T side thus far.
Yeah, but one player I want to highlight here for the EMP's kids side is Moshi.
Yeah,
he has had
absolutely.
such incredible impact on both sides. In fact, we saw him get the ace on that T side as well. He's been very aggressive towards these upper B tunnels, and it's yielded a lot of map control for the EMP's kids side. In this round, a different approach from the Blackhand boys. They've approached middle early on. We haven't really seen too many aggressive long takes from them so far in this half, and maybe that's coming back to bite them, as EMP's kids do seem to have free reign of the entire map every single round. Jouster, wise to Moshi's tricks at this stage in the half, though, will cut him down on the aggression, but Joshua and Jack B answer straight back with a couple of kills of their own, taking the advantage for the EMP's kids side.
Timo, though, immediately decapitating Crive straight on back. Joshua, again, trades things into the 2v2 as Zulu finds a frag of his own, but goes back to pick up the bomb, and Cypher, that's so intelligently played, hiding in the smoke for the entire time, leaving poor old Timo in the 1v2. Can't even find the first, and Cypher shuts him down. Ladies and gents, it's 14-10 to EMP's kids. They've just picked up 9 CT rounds in a row, and Blackhand have 0 answer. They can't really buy up in this round. You can bring some pistols to the fray, but what have they really been doing for you in any round up to this point? You may as well just go full cold turkey, run into it with just the Glocks, so you can at least stand a full by chance to the next with all the bells and whistles. Christ does get caught out with his over-aggression, though. Down he goes, and Jack B could be in trouble here. Molotov deployed, they're running straight through it, finds but no scope, not the second, but no, it's a team kill from Jouster. He's even up the numbers for them, and now it's Joshua and Moshi to deal a killing blow, and Moshi, well, he struggles early doors, as this could be a save round from the CTs. Maybe the first of the entire Dust 2 game.
Yeah, the economy is quite strong, actually. They could definitely consider going for this one, especially if they can get an early kill. They've got some utility in the hands of Joshua as well. So, how do they choose to plan this? You can see that they've decided to go for the save call now, back on away, and a absolute important round for Blackhand to take from them there. That's the half buy investment now. The economy is going to be massively buffed off the back of this one. They're going to be able to bring in full rifles and full utility into round number 26, no problem whatsoever. There's some quick maths for you. I had to, oh God, that was a tough one.
It's okay, it's okay. There's a reason that this is our day job. But moving into the day jobs of these guys on the server, well, it's fragging out and winning rounds. And Blackhand, they finally won a round. That's half the job done. EMP's kids, they do get 2 players saving. They do keep that AK up into the next. And actually, that's definitely going to benefit them, because Joshua can now save that money for an emergency come a later round. But with that 9-round streak coming to an end, another timeout has been called, whether that's by EMP's kids or Blackhand, I'm not entirely sure, but that will quell the momentum that Blackhand could possibly have gained from this engagement. With Blackhand bringing a pretty decent buy into this one, we will have another gun round to decide whether it's match point for EMP's kids or a 12th for Blackhand. And hopefully in this second map of the Grand Finals, we get back into close game territory, because I do not want this to be a CT side criminal whitewash for the EMP's kids.
Yeah, so far they have really stomped this side out, no problem whatsoever, and it's interesting to see that the first round Blackhand are able to put on the board was in fact that half investment, the rounds which are a lot more unpredictable to read for the CT side. In this round we see Cypher with immediate aggression, and Moshi with some of his own once again having impact. Opens up round number 25, no problem whatsoever. And now a man disadvantage for Blackhand from the get-go. They've conceded all this map control already.
Oh,
Cypher with an
Cypher.
immediate adjustment rips the head of Dexter clean off. And Jack B continuing to force the issue, does not want to let Blackhand retake the space that Cypher was able to take from them. They know that they're pinned in though, the Blackhand side. They head back towards this B side of the map, and realistically, everything is going against them in this situation. Their trading needs to be perfect. There needs to be someone on EMP's that makes a mistake if Blackhand want to get back into this round.
But they're so encircled, as you said. They're just covering every angle on the CT side, and Moshi and Kreitz, they just bully Blackhand back from whence they came. And with that, well, we could very well be looking at the last round of play. It is going to be another bye for Blackhand up against that of the EMP's kids. But 10 CT rounds with only a single round going against them. Blackhand, I mean, they've just not done enough here in my eyes. Especially as Jack B's looking to find another top mid frag. Can he get this one over the line? You can see how terrified Dexter is of jumping back across and being the first to die in such a crucial round.
Yeah, good decision from Dexter there to just hold the line, wait for some space to be taken by his teammates before moving back into that angle. And Jack B knew he had him dead to rights, but an internal timer in his mind was saying, okay, he's getting close to me now. Maybe this is the time to back on away. Similar start to a round from the T side that we've seen before here with the hinge smoke coming out. Cypher feels a little bit pressured in middle here, in fact, and he's dumping utility off the back of it. The control, yeah, a good flash, but the control taken by the Blackhand side, it's very minimal so far. We can see we've got a lurking player in the form of Timo towards that long side. Long, of course, well in the hands of Joshua and his teammate in Cypher as well to help him out. And now Short in the hands of Blackhand.
Yeah, Blackhand, you can tell though, they're so unsure of what they need to do to break this defense of EMP's kids, and Jack B has now been spotted towards the upper tunnels. This is information gained, but are they going to capitalize off of it? Oh, Jack B, my god, the timing is giving me anxiety as Moshi, no doubt dealing out his own bit of pain to the Blackhand side. The mental game is... Oh, it's going to be destroyed now with Jack B back in Joust there. The B bomb site instead has been taken. Bomb going down, and Timo, he's waiting for the swing. He will find the frag. It is now a 3v3 in EMP's kids. This is not looking like the best scenario for them. No util left for this retake, and honestly, I call a save here that they're so confident in their own abilities that they're still putting pressure on the B bomb site.
Yeah, B bomb site on Dust 2, well known for being one of the hardest bomb sites in the entire game of Counter-Strike to retake, especially if you include the fact that they've got no utility. The boost is perfect as Cypher's able to deal with Dexter from the get-go. Kreitz on the late lurk through the tunnels on this retake has not been accounted for, but the time has been and gone already. Kreitz able to shut the door on Timo at the bare minimum to force rebuys. The economy is not the best for Blackhand considering that's a round one. They're not going to be able to get all the utility that they would perhaps like to get into the round, but now EMP's kids are the ones whose economy is also in a tough spot.
Yeah, I was going to say, EMP's kids far worse off from that engagement than Blackhand will be. Dexter does have to bring a Galil into the fray, but a lot of valuable utility missing here. Cypher doesn't have a kit coming into what could very well be the final round of a half, but with another pause coming in, it's just tensions rising through and through. Again, the LAN hall, I don't know if it's going to be them yelling at each other during this timeout or hushed silence. It could be one of the two. It's UKCS. It's hard to predict with these guys. But EMP's kids, they definitely have the upper hand, but Blackhand, can they at least bag 2 rounds in a row on this T side? They haven't been able to do it so far, but this obviously needs to be the time where they pull it through. And, well, if they don't, we could be staring down the barrel of a very, very dominant EMP's kids finish. As Moshi, oh, he's back at his antics again, fully blinded, but he starts to spray early. Does have a crossfire. Jack B finds the first. Joust there. does go down. Fraser to trade. 3 versus 3. Cypher, like a madman, running through the smoke, doesn't push out all the way. Instead gets caught on the door. Dexter and Timo, they find a frag apiece. It's all down to Kreitz in the 1v2. He's going to smoke the door. Looks to attempt to push on into this site, but then stops towards the Molotov. They tick damage themselves underneath the window. Kreitz, he's still going for it, but Dexter, he shuts him down in the nick of time. And it's 15-13. Blackhand, they finally put 2 up on the board in a row. There is still a competitive end to the second half.
This is going to full 30 rounds here, Sneaky. We've got a full eco coming out for the side of the EMPs kids at this stage. And honestly, if Blackhand lose a round like this, they deserve to lose the finals, okay?
Yeah.
They cannot lose this one.
Oh, please, don't even talk about it, Icon. I don't want to think about losing to PT50 and a 5-7. I've seen it before, but not in a grand finals. Please, not in a grand finals.
I like what Blackhand have done, though. They've played as a 5. They've grouped up, and they've just walked their way into the B-bomb site. No issues whatsoever.
Great
Zulu
volley.
with a timed Molotov to deal with any potential lurking players coming through the underpass or the undertunnel or whatever you'd like to call it. And now they just look to at least do some damage here, the EMPs kids. They're charging on through, putting the pressure on, bringing the pain, but the pain is all being delivered by the Blackhand boys as they put their 14th round on the board. And oh my lord, we may be seeing an overtime here in our second map.
Oh, man. I mean, an overtime would be fitting. We had an overtime yesterday to decide whether Blackhand would even make it to this stage. And
Yes.
They did win that out 19-17, actually, with those all-important T-side rounds in the first overtime. And oh, Jack B, that's so unfortunate. Not the start you want to the final round of regulation. This could still go in the favor of EMPs kids, but Blackhand have at least entered themselves that early on advantage. They also have the greater bank of utility in their back pocket. EMPs kids cannot afford to let this one slip away. They fought so hard. That's 11 rounds on the CT side. Or at least it would be if they win this one. But Blackhand, oh man, they keep the pain, they keep the pressure, and EMPs kids cannot afford to rest on their laurels, especially now that they've used most of their utility up with 1 minute and 15 seconds left to go.
One thing I'd like to note about this round from the EMPs kids is that they've lost this aggressive play style that we've seen from them throughout the entirety of the CT side. Now, with the pressure on, backs against the wall, they've made an adjustment to how they want to play this one out. I imagine this is a call from Cypher, as he is obviously the most experienced player on this EMPs kids lineup, and now we can see it looks to be the A split for the Blackhand boys as they edge their way up catwalk and long simultaneously. Cripes' position immediately cleared. Joshua isolated for the time being on this A bomb site, but a smoke dropped at his feet will keep them at bay for the time being. Cypher, the hero, once again, is able to get a kill onto Zulu, but his aggression traded by Fraser. Moshi
no
through
way.
the smoke. Dexter with a huge trade. Still, we find ourselves in a 2 versus 2, and Jack B, of course, still so very low from the initial shot through the door from Dexter, and Dexter swapped himself out to an AK-47 as well, Sneaky.
Yeah, they're looking to claw this one back tooth and nail into an overtime, but Jack B, he finds Joust there. It's all up to Dexter now in the 1v1. Jack B, he's caught out alone towards long, lands the opening shot on towards Dexter, but Dexter with a swing.
God.
We're going to an overtime on map
God.
2, ladies and gents, as Blackhand, after an abysmal start to the T side, clutch things up. And oh my god, if they can do it again, and win those 3 opening T side rounds on the CT side of map, then who knows where we're going to be ending up. But EMPs kids, they're not done fighting yet. Obviously not. They've got the chance to fully reinvest here. They've got the chance to swing back into the lead. But my god, being denied the 30 rounder. Oh, Moshi is going to really be feeling the heat now.
Yeah, Dexter's hit that flick through the doors twice in a row now, really starting to show some confidence. But once again, EMPs kids, they go back to the drawing board and the aggression comes back out. Cypher's pushed his way all the way up through middle and is wrapped behind them like a boa constrictor already. The side of EMPs kids are pinching this Blackhand side into a corner on this B bomb site. Dexter, wise to the potential of this, does rotate back over, and he's spotted out Cypher. All the players on on the Blackhand side run back to deal with the aggression here, and it's a very well reacted position for them. Jack B, though, continuing to keep up the aggression for the Emps Kids side. He's holding the wrong angle, but he hits the flick onto Jouster. But it looks like Blackhand, they head their way back over towards this A bomb site. Jack B's well aware of it, though. Information handed over to that lone site defender in the form of Christ, but in fact, he's not on the bomb site. He's in CT spawn, about to be isolated behind these smokes. Jack B's the one who's going to be called upon on the bomb site, and he misses the first opportunity. A good kill from Zulu, but traded back by the HE of Christ is a massive statement for them for now. The Molotov's going to burn down Timo to a little crisp. Both Fraser and Timo on basically no HP. Joshua with amazing trades, and Timo called upon in the 1 versus 2. Cannot get it done. Emps Kids, they take the first round of overtime.
Yeah, Blackhand already denied their previous stature of those crucial 3 T-side rounds. And with Emps Kids picking up that first, can they use this momentum to propel themselves forward? Blackhand have been on the back foot for a long time now. They've forgotten what it feels like to be in the lead. Yeah. And Emps Kids continue to deny them that feeling as they keep mounting the pressure, keep Blackhand on the back foot, and keep them ticking on over until the half switch again. Dexter burning low, 59 HP as Zulu falls, and Timo's dealt with as well by Joshua and Kreitz. Nades rattle on in, but they've already fallen back into middle. Jack B, he's out in mid. He's waiting for this, and you're right, he's heard all the footsteps, but he's missed the jump, and so they turn around, but he still picks up the AWPer. Cypher grabs one too. Jack B, he's struggling, but does go down to Jouster in the end. It's still only a 1v4. This would take a miracle for Jouster to pull off.
Yeah, a 1 versus 5 now, a 1 versus 4 for Jouster, and there is no way he was going to be able to get anything done in that situation. Joshua, after he gets that final kill screen, immediately stops moving, and when you see that, you know for a fact he's on his feet, screaming at his opponents. These two teams are sat very close together, only a row apart in the LAN hall, so it's definitely the case that they're trying to get into each other's head all game long. Dexter once again called upon. This time round, can't hit the flick through the door. I guess you can't hit it every single round. Simple's not playing in this game right now. And, an opener for Timo this time, though. Aggression from Jack B gets the trade back in favour of that side. Jouster gets him, though, and able to take back the control that they originally lost is the Blackhand side.
Yeah, Blackhand for the first time had the man advantage, and also an opening frag. An opening frag is what they were missing from so many of these overtime plays. It buys them a bit of space, buys them a bit of time, as now the B-bomb site is wide open. There is no one on the Emps Kids side here. They've gone for the gamble stack, but with the way Blackhand have slowed down to a grinding halt, I don't know whether they'll be going underpass or straight out onto the site, but straight out onto the site it looks as if they shall go, which will be a huge advantage for them. This should be the 16th round that Blackhand have been looking for a long time. A very elusive number, but it is also the last round of the first half of overtime. So Emps Kids, they're going for this retake. Blackhand cannot afford to rest on their laurels, and by God Christ, incredibly speedy entry onto the site. Moshi follows suit, but it is now a 1v2 for Joshua. Very low HP player in Jouster, but it's not going to matter as it's Fraser to take the fight, Fraser to win the duel, and it's 17-16 to Emps Kids, as they now lose the advantage of their favoured side and have to bring things back on the tee. 2 rounds required for a victory for Emps Kids, or 2 required from Blackhand to take us to another overtime.
So crucial that Blackhand are able to pick up at least 1 round there on their T side, because if they had not, this would have been a shoe-in for Emps Kids to take the map away in the first round of overtime. Now, we see aggression from Jack B towards Long. He's got the spawn and he's ahead of the Molotov. He continues to force the issue, but misses the adjustment onto Timo. A massive frag to pick up first by Timo on Long. AWPer taken out of the round, and Zulu with a shadow spotted. Dexter's able to deal with Moshi as well, and a great start to the CT side of Blackhand. Of course, we have to remember it was so long ago now, but they went 10-5 here on their CT side in the first half. Some trades back, though, in favour of the Emps Kids side, and in fact, Cypher found 3 kills on Catwalk. Jouster now in a 1 versus 2 situation. What was essentially a 5 versus 2 is now a 1 versus 2, and this round has fallen apart in front of Blackhand's very own eyes.
Oh, not like this. I mean, I was going to make the point that Blackhand could still win in this half if they put all 3 on the board. But Joust there. Oh my god, he finds Joshua. Oh, but Cypher with the flick across. My god, things just keep on heating up. Ems Kids, they are now on match point and also series point for this grand finals. One more round required on their T side to pull things over the line. But before we get into the next round, another pause is called as Blackhand again feeling the heat, feeling the pressure. There's bacon in that LAN hole and it's fiery in the server.
Oh my lord, what a way for Blackhand to lose an advantage situation. Joustair does his absolute best, rips the head off of that Pit Orpa, and that's not a fight that is by any means easy to win whatsoever. He's absolutely owned him there, but unable to get the headshot on the site player. An incredible shot to hit for the AWP on the bomb site though, only being able to see the tippy top of Joustair's head. Oh, this looks like a fast play into the B bomb site. I wonder, will Joustair be prepared for this? He's good for 1, but not a second. Fraser flashed off by utility for the time being, but they haven't expected him to be in this position. 2 massive kills, make it almost a third as he deals damage, but no kill. Cypher trades back, and Jack B's dealt with Zulu, already trying to get himself into a position on this retake. Bomb will be faked for the time being. They're expecting perhaps a bit of a contest from the remaining Blackhand players, but now they know they're safe. Smoke towards the door, Molotov in towards the window will keep the CT side at bay for the time being. We've got AWP versus AWP. M4 versus AK. Jack B holding the window angle, will shut down Dexter immediately. And Cypher closes the door on Blackhand's EPIC36 dreams. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. EMP's Kids will be winning EPIC36's CSGO tournament. Commiserations to the Blackhand side, but a 2-0 fashion from the EMP's Kids. They have been dominant all tournament long, and after their performances this weekend, I don't think anyone's denying the raw talent of these 5 players. Yeah, it was called Blackhand's event to lose, and well, they've only gone and done it. They took it to the overtime, but could not clinch things out. An incredible performance through and through from EMP's Kids, as much as they had an absolute mare in the opening half of Dust 2 there, despite it being their own map pick. They clutch up a 16-11, a 19-16, and it will be 2-0 in our grand finals here at EPIC 36. Now, Icon, we're going to wrap things up pretty soon because it has been a very long weekend of Counter-Strike. But before we go, do you want to just run us through the final 2 maps of this tournament? Oh my god. See, my voice is going. You can tell it's the end of the weekend at this point. But yeah, we kicked things off with a massive start for the Blackhand boys on Vertigo. They take an incredible lead at the early stages. It does go a little bit back and forth to begin with, but then they find themselves in an 8-7 half, all things considered. When they swap sides, things got a little bit interesting. We had some very back and forth rounds. An incredible clutch as well by Dexter, 1 versus 4, AWP in hand. Nutty stuff. And when the individuals were called upon, they did show up at points, but just not consistently enough overall. A 16-11 victory for the EMP's Kids in that first match. Headed over to Dust 2, the map pick of the EMP's Kids. It started well for the Blackhand side. 10-5 at the half. They had a great showing on their CT side, but when things switched, oh my god, they fell by the wayside. We saw 8 straight rounds. 9 straight rounds in a row. Amazing. They got to 14 to 10 at one point, I believe it was. Yeah. And yeah, finally, they wake up towards the end on the side of Blackhand. They bring us to 15-15, despite almost letting things slip away to Jack B on that A1S on long. Yeah. I believe it was Dexter on the site. No, Joustair on the site that he dinks on up. But yeah, Blackhand, they win the fight. They take us to an overtime, but then a solid CT start and a ridiculous stolen first T round for the side of EMP's Kids will net them enough strength to pull it over 19-16. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you've had enough of our rambling. I'm sure the production has as well. They've had enough of us the past couple of days. But yeah, before we round things out, obviously a massive shout out to the production guys sitting over there behind the camera. Much love to you guys. Snail Juice on the observation desk, and we got Daffyd doing the production. And
yeah, everyone else who's been around, all the other casters. We got Cody, we got Jay from Valorant, which is not a word I
Big
thought I'd be
B-Doggy
saying.
Brandon spent his birthday
Exactly.
here this weekend. Reaper
Mwah.
Steve hopped on the cast as well. We've had a whole community event here. It's been such good vibes across the board. Of course, we love the competitiveness of the CSGO team, but when it's all said and done, we shake hands and we move on and we are friends when the next event rolls round. And I'm very much looking forward to coming back for EPIC37, I believe, in October.
I would say it's Halloween weekend again.
Yes.
But yeah, that's going to be very exciting. But before we get too excited for that, let's make sure we get to the bar before it closes. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the CSGO stream once again. And congratulations one more time to our winners. Commiserations to the runners-up of Black Hand. But yeah, EMS kids, as I said, they'll be hitting the bar as well. They got a bit of prize money to splash. And on that note, it's been a fantastic event. And thank you to EPIC for having us. I think we're going to wrap things up here.
Yep.
Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Safe journey home to everyone here. And from myself, Sneaky Beaky, and the wonderful Icon, goodbye.